Let's start with spider plant, and this one is different from everything else on this list because it does not hide what is happening. Most plants bury their roots underground, and you never see the process. Spider plant puts it all on display. It is native to South Africa and produces small baby plants called spidrets, little versions of itself that hang from long stems. When you place those in water, you watch the roots form in real time, right through the glass. It is almost meditative. The University of Hawaii found that spider plant absorbs carbon monoxide and nitrogen dioxide from indoor air 2 pollutants that quietly build up in kitchens and rooms with gas appliances. The long striped leaves fan outward naturally, and the whole setup looks intentional without any effort. This is the plant that turns a glass jar into something people actually stop and look at. Now Pothos, and if you have ever killed a plant before, this is the one that will change that. It comes from the forests of Southeast Asia, where it grows across the ground and climbs trees without anyone caring for it. That background tells you everything. It is built for inconsistency. NASA's Clean Air study found that Pothos removes formaldehyde and benzene from indoor air chemicals that come off furniture, paint, and cleaning products inside most homes right now. A single cutting dropped into a jar develops visible white roots in 3 to 5 days. The glossy heart-shaped leaves stay full and rich with zero soil. If you already have one at home, drop a comment and tell me where you keep it. I want to know. Lucky bamboo is next, and here is something most people get completely wrong about it. It is not actually bamboo. It is a Dracaena, a totally different plant that comes from Central Africa, not Asia. The bamboo name came from Feng Shui traditions that spread across East Asia and then the rest of the world. The name stuck even though the biology never matched. What makes it genuinely fascinating is how its stalks work. They function almost like a storage tank, holding enough nutrients that the plant can survive in plain water for months. Clean water, some pebbles to hold the stems upright, indirect light that is the full care routine. It has sat on office desks around the world for decades because it actually works in the conditions people have, not the perfect conditions that most plant guides describe. Philodendron looks so similar to Pothos that most people cannot tell them apart, but in water, they behave differently. And that difference is worth knowing. It comes from the rainforests of Central and South America, growing under thick tree canopies where almost no direct sunlight reaches it. That history is why it handles dark indoor corners better than almost anything else. Research on philodendron species shows something called adventitious root development, which just means its stems are designed to produce new roots from almost nothing. Cut a stem, place it in water, and roots appear faster than most other houseplants. The vines arc gently, the leaves feel slightly softer than Pothos, and in a glass container with water changed weekly, it keeps growing for months without complaint. Coleus is where things get loud, and every plant before this one has been relatively quiet about its appearance. Coleus is not. It comes from Southeast Asia and produces leaves in combinations of deep burgundy, bright lime green, coral, and sometimes near black, all on the same plant. Those colors stay vivid in water because they come from compounds inside the leaves themselves, not from the roots. So it does not fade the way most colorful plants do without soil. Cuttings root in 5 to 7 days, making it one of the fastest on this list to establish. It needs bright indoor light to stay at its best, and in a clear glass container near a window, it does not blend into a room. It becomes the room. English ivy has been climbing walls and fences across Europe for centuries, and that climbing instinct is exactly what makes it work so well in water. It is naturally aggressive about finding new surfaces and new directions. Cuttings from healthy stems adapt quickly, and the lobed leaves give it a structured, classic look that fits both traditional and modern spaces. A study from the American College of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology found that English ivy reduced airborne mold particles by up to 60% within just 12 hours. That is not a small number. It prefers brighter light than some of the others here, but it handles moderate indoor conditions without stalling. The only thing it regularly asks for is a trim. Left alone, it trails generously, which is either beautiful or too much, depending on where you put it. Chinese evergreen is the plant for the corner that has defeated everything else you have tried. It comes from the lowest layers of Southeast Asian forests, where almost no sunlight reaches the ground. That is its entire evolutionary background, surviving in conditions that would stop most plants cold. Research on Aglaonema species, which is its scientific family, consistently shows strong performance in low-light environments that would cause other houseplants to simply stop. In water, its slow growth rate becomes an advantage. It does not push through nutrients fast, does not demand attention, and the patterned leaves in shades of green, silver, or deep red hold their color without fading. Which of these would you actually put in your home? Tell me in the comments and I will tell you exactly which container setup works best for each one. Peace lily is the one that requires the most careful transition, and most people who try it in water make the same mistake. It grows naturally in the rainforests of Central and South America, where the ground is loose, rich, and constantly moist. Moving it from soil to water means cleaning the roots completely. Any soil left on the roots breaks down in water and causes bacterial growth that kills the plant within weeks. But done right, it settles in and redirects its energy from flowering to producing deep, healthy foliage. NASA's Clean Air Study ranked peace lily among the best plants for removing ammonia, benzene, formaldehyde, and trichloroethylene from indoor airfare of the most common pollutants found in homes. Under steady indirect light with clean water, it becomes a quiet, low-maintenance presence that is doing more for your space than most people realize. Begonia surprises most people because they think of it as one plant, but there are over 1,800 known species. Leaf textures range from smooth and waxy to deeply ridged and patterned. Colors move from clean green to bronze, red, and silver. Many varieties root well from stem or leaf cuttings placed in water, and research on begonia species shows strong root development in humid, water-rich environments, which matches exactly where they come from naturally. They prefer warmth and gentle light once established, and they ask for a bit more attention than the easier plants on this list. What they give back is variety. Two different begonia varieties placed in the same space look like completely different plants, which gives you range without needing to buy entirely separate species. Impatiens close this list quietly, and that is exactly the point. They are native to Africa and parts of Asia, and outdoors they are known for bright, consistent flowers in garden beds. Indoors in water, they become something different. Flowering slows down. The energy shifts to clean stem growth, soft leaves, and a root system that forms quickly in clear water. What remains is understated and calm, soft stems, visible roots, gentle foliage that works especially well in smaller spaces where a dramatic plant would feel like too much. It is a quieter version of itself in water. And for the right space, that is exactly what you need. 10 plants, no soil. And most of them are quietly improving the air in whatever room you place them in, whether you know it or not. If you are starting from scratch, begin with spider plant or pothos, you will see results within days. If you want something that stops people mid-conversation, coleus. And if you have a dark corner that has beaten every plant you have tried, Chinese evergreen. One question before you go: which of these is already in your home? And which one are you adding next? Put both answers in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want to know which indoor plants actually clean air the fastest according to research, that video is next.